Welcome into a brand new post-game edition of Believe in Panthers here on Believe Podcast Networks, brought to you by the fine folks over at FanDuel. Desmond Johnson in the house with the Panthers' all-time leading rusher, Jonathan Stewart. And again, I can get used to this, Stu. It's another victory edition of the post-game show. The Panthers now 4-3 on the season, winners of 4 of their past 5 games after a rock fight up in the Meadowlands, 13-6 winners versus the New York Football Jets. We'll get into all that for you. We'll talk about some of the stuff we saw during this game. We'll try to give you an update on Bryce Young if there's anything out there yet. He had got injured in this game, did not return in the third quarter. Andy Dalton finished it out for him. We'll give you our players of the game and players that stood out to us. But starting off, just initial thoughts. Stu, from watching this game from afar, initial thoughts on this team and the way they came out and played, and your overall initial reaction to the Panthers here.
Yeah, this was a win that I think the Carolina Panthers needed more than the Jets. The Jets, are now still winless, as I expected, as you expected, because we are believing Panthers. But we actually believe, Desmond. If you have not believed over the last, 7 years?
It feels like a billion, but yeah.
You don't feel the way we do. You know what I'm saying? So, one team, how I looked at it was one team was desperate, and that was the Jets. And then you have, on the other hand, Carolina Panthers, one team that was very dangerous. And dangerous because they've been winning, right? They've been winning at home. They haven't been able to get their away victory. They've been able to accomplish that. Some people might say, yeah, it was the Jets, the winless Jets. Let's not get too carried away here, right? The Jets have a pretty, they have some players on defense. Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams, some guys that are all pro talent. You know what I'm saying? So you're not playing a bunch of bums, okay? The Carolina Panthers showed up on an away game, MetLife Stadium, Meadowlands, in New Jersey. I don't care what you want to call it. This was a game that the Carolina Panthers won, and it was all about the Carolina Panthers. They were able to find some rhythm, in parts and pieces of this game. But I want to go back to where they found their rhythm. They found their rhythm at home, right? It's different when you're at home. You can play your own music. You can play, the music in your car on the way to the stadium. You find your groove, right? They continued their groove, and they found it on the way. And that was what was most impressive, was that they stuck to their game plan. They stuck to what they knew. They found what they know at home. They run the ball, they play defense. And then Bryce Young is able to be more effective in the passing game when you are running the ball, right? Being able to find those windows, those pockets, those opportunities for big chunk plays, and allowing the playmakers to go make those plays. And we saw guys, we'll talk about it, but we saw guys come up with some huge plays today. And that, to me, leaves this team to be very dangerous now.
Now, before we go into the Panthers and the box score and everything like we usually do on our post-game show, and shout out to everybody that's joining us on the Believe YouTube channel for our live show. We're live every Sunday at the end of each Panther game, so we can actually hear reactions from you guys and give you our initial thoughts after the games are over with. I want to look at the Jets for just a second, and my thoughts with them. As y'all know, I usually keep notes on my phone during these Sunday games so I can kind of keep track, and it's an emotional roller coaster for a Panther fan. Watching these games from the first quarter to the fourth, although it has been a lot more fun, I will say, watching it now from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. My very first note that I wrote down on here after the first 2 drives, one from each team, the Jets are a desperate team. Like it felt like they were desperate today. Like going for it on 4th and 5, that first drive they did, they were right near midfield. They were right past midfield. It would have been like a 51-yard field goal. Aaron Glenn said, nah, we're going to keep trying to keep this thing going. And to the Panthers' credit, they snuffed it out, and there you have it. Now, I will give the Jets defense credit. They did very well kind of keeping the Panthers kind of off kilter a little bit. But I kind of felt like that was a little bit more us trying to get Jalen Coker and Chuba Hubbard back into the rotation, almost kind of force feeding them in there. So it was making it where it was like some things just didn't flow right. But as soon as that second series and Rico came in, you kind of sense like the offensive lineman kind of perked up, the tight ends kind of perked up. Like I don't know, it was just something about it. Like it just felt like they had a little bit more juice when Rico was in there. And his very first run, he wrapped off 10 yards. I know why Dave Canales started Chuba. He is the bellwether. He is the starting running back of this football team. But we talked about it last week. Sometimes you got to stay with the hot hand. And I knew they were going to kind of go back and forth with him. I couldn't remember exactly how they used you and D. Will or you and McCaffrey, because I don't remember it being like you had this whole series and then D'Angelo had this whole next series. Like I don't remember it being like that. I remember it being like you got 3 or 4 runs, you got out, took a breather. D. Will comes in, he gets 3 or 4 runs, he comes out, takes a breather. I remembered it more like that way. And I wanted to ask you, did you guys run it like the way they were trying to do it today, where it was like, okay, Stu, you're going to get this series, the opening series, second series, D. Will, you're getting that one, Stu, you're getting the third one, and then it kind of went that. Did they do it that way when you guys were doing it? Because it felt like it was kind of stunting the offense a little bit.
Well, no, like I think what they did was they found out who the hot hand was during the game, right? Finding the hot hand, we know what the hot hand was the last 2 weeks. Going into this game, you add Chuba into the mix, and you have 2 quality running backs. I don't want people to get jaded by the stats, because when you watch this game, if you go back, you'll actually see the different types of runs both of these guys had on their carries. A lot of Chuba's runs early on were inside runs, a lot of duo, a lot of those types of runs. And then you add Rico into the mix, and that's when they switch it up. They get outside and they give him some space to run with. And then, as you saw with Chuba did have an explosive or close to explosive play. Explosive plays are 12 yards plus, right? So
yeah,
he had an 11-yard carry, and it came from him bouncing it outside.
Yeah, for the left
now,
side.
And going back to the Jets defense, like, yes, they've been struggling, but they've been struggling on offense, more importantly, right? You look at the Denver Bronco game last week, you talk about, they haven't been able to stop the run. They did a decent job if you look back at the Broncos game. So for the Carolina Panthers, they knew going into this game it was going to be some tough sledding going, in the trenches, especially when you have Austin Corbett at the offensive line, at the left guard spot, because Damian Lewis is out, right?
Yeah,
so now
the line was different.
Yeah. So we're talking about 6 different lineup exchanges in the first 7 games of the season. So that takes its course, right? So guys have to get their footing. Guys have to get their placement. I mean, he hasn't played left guard in probably who knows how long, right? So
high school probably.
So there's a lot that goes into this as far as finding the rhythm with 2 running backs. But going back to the D'Angelo typically started the game, right? And whenever he got tired, he would come out of the game and I would spell him. And then if things got stale or whatever, then we just switch series, right? I'll go in for a series, he'll come in for a series. And you find the hot hand during the game, right? And there's beauty in that, because now a defense doesn't really know what to expect, right? Because if you say to yourself, oh, we're playing for Rico Dowdle, right? And then all of a sudden Rico isn't there on the second series of the game. It's like, wait, so now they can possibly run different plays with Chuba. We're not really prepared. Like you just kind of throw teams for a loop. You look at how the Detroit Lions have Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, right?
Yeah.
The tandem that they have there, it throws defenses for a loop. If you're a linebacker and you're expecting to tackle one guy one way, and then next thing you know, you have a different type of runner with a different type of mentality slashing you apart. It keeps you on your toes. So what I saw today was Dave Canales doing absolutely a good job on the road, sticking to the run, sticking to the game plan. And eventually it paid off at the end when we were able to, create, the chunk plays needed to extend drives when we needed it the most. 4th down conversion rate. I mean,
oh man, yeah, they was on it today, and they've been on it all year on 4th down. Yeah, they've really been good at that. The Panthers are tops of the league in 4th down conversions. Who would have thunk it? They're doing some stuff that people are like, wow, really, the Panthers? I'm like, yeah, they've been working on this for a little bit now. It's just now all starting to click. And with the 2-back system, I love personally the 2-back system. I prefer that opposed to like a 1-back Derrick Henry 30 carries only like type of game, because if he goes out, then you're screwed pretty much. Because you put it all in his hands. And other than you and D. Will, probably my favorite duo of all time, running back duo of all time, is what was it? Thunder and Lightning? Is that what they're called? USC, Lindell White.
Lindell White and Reggie Bush.
That was a problem. Like that was, I mean, because there were two different types of backs, you know, and I'm starting to see it. We said that Chuba and Rico, it works because Canales doesn't have to change the play calling because they can both run the same play. Yeah. But today I'm looking at them like they're not the same running back. Like they run differently. Rico runs north-south hard, and Chuba kind of runs more sleek. Almost like a Cadillac kind of like.
He's a patient runner. He's definitely a patient runner, setting up blocks.
Rico does that too, but just in a different way. Rico stop. Like Rico literally stop at the line and wait for a hole and then go. Chuba kind of keeps moving a little bit. Like he's constantly moving in a flow, but it's two different styles, but you can call the same stuff for him. And to your point, you're right. They were running Chuba towards the inside, and we had some changes in our offensive line. Shout out to everybody on our offensive line, including the backups, because they've all got some run over the past couple of weeks. And we talked about it at the beginning of the year, how fortunate we were to bring back not just the starting lineup from last year, but like the three main backups too, because they've all started games like here so far this season, and they haven't really missed the beat. The Jets defense kept them in this game. I do feel like the Panthers just kind of, I've seen online, I made a mistake of going online, just kind of checking the temperature of everybody. They're happy with it, but they kind of want it more. Like, oh, this should be 24-6 and blah, blah, blah. To your point, this is the NFL. Like, we can't pretend like this is college football week 7 or whatever, and we're Oregon and we're playing against, you know, whoever, and we're supposed to win by 40 points. That's not how it works in the NFL. And I've been worried all week, and we talked about it on midweek. This was a trap game for the Panthers. The Panther fans were going to think, oh, we're going to win by 25 points, and there ain't going to be a question. The Jets did look awful, and I did write that down on here. Justin Fields looks awful. What happened? Jets' offensive line is the worst we've seen so far. That offensive line is a mess. Like, I don't know what happened, but they were just letting us in wide open holes. You got Mooring rushing in from the backfield. Derek Brown got off with 2 sacks today. Justin Fields, there was times where he just looked like he was lost. Like, just where am I supposed to go with this? Like, there's nothing. He had nothing, and it was the first thing we've seen all year that just they couldn't do anything. And then him getting hurt, Tyron Taylor came in. I actually got kind of worried because I'm like, you know, Taylor's been around the block a couple of times. He could be one of them backups that just comes in here and starts sparking stuff all of a sudden because we didn't plan for him because that's kind of been his career, you know. So I kind of got a little worried when he came in because we weren't up but like 7 points, so it wasn't like we had put a cushion out there. But the Panther defense, man, the Panther defense has rounded a corner. Like I've seen enough now out of 4 games where they just look like a different defense. Like they finally got some confidence and they finally have an idea of what to do with the personnel they have instead of them sticking people into the plan they want to run. It feels like Ejiro Evero has finally kind of molded his defense around what he has, and he's running it like that. And that is really starting to show off his chops on what he can do defensively. The defense I was super impressed with today. It's not easy to hold an NFL team to 6 points, regardless if they're the Jets or not. So shout out to them. The Bryce Young ankle injury in the third quarter, we haven't gotten any info from that yet. I believe Dave Canales did speak in the post game and said that they'll evaluate it, and it felt more like precautionary. They kept him out just more precaution because I saw the play where he got stepped on. That last play he was in, he was trying to scramble backwards, and the defender stepped on his almost like his calf, and then he just didn't come back out. But we didn't even know he was hurt until they were like, Andy Dalton's in the game. I'm like, what did I miss? What happened? And then we found
that's
out.
definitely something that we're going to have to monitor this week because, you know, if he's limited next week, how will they adjust on offense, you know? So definitely.
I don't trust Andy Dalton longer than a game or so at this point.
Well, I'll tell you this, right? What we saw out of Andy Dalton towards the end of the game as a quarterback that's been in this position before, right?
Right.
You know, to be able to come in and close out a game because your starting quarterback goes down, you know, it takes a lot for a guy to ignite himself into that play, right? The guys that are blocking for you, the guys that you're throwing to, the guys that are running the ball around you, they've been grinding throughout this game for 3 quarters or so, right? 2 quarters or so. When did he come in? Third quarter?
Towards the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. So third quarter, right? So you're now talking about how do you get yourself up for a game? How do you get yourself up for the third quarter all of a sudden and be able to match the intensity of the game? Because that's an intense game. It's a close one. And at any point in the game, if you make the wrong throw, the wrong decision, you're giving the Jets an opportunity to come back into this thing, right? Yeah. So the Carolina Panthers did not beat themselves this game. They did not turn the ball over. And you're now starting to see the Carolina Panthers play with healthy expectations, right? When you have healthy expectations, you can go in there and take what the defense gives you if you're an offensive coordinator and a quarterback, right? Take what they give you. And if you're on the defensive side of the ball, again, play patient. Wait for the ball to fall in your lap, aka JC Horn, right?
2 interceptions today.
He-
Got him there.
I heard on the radio Luke Kuechly was calling the game with Anish and Jim Zoki. And Luke said, "Man, JC has to be really bored over there because they're not throwing the ball his way." And then lo and behold, they tried him and they tried wrong. Okay.
Yep.
So again, not beating themselves, being prepared, being ready for the moment. That's how you win these ugly games. You don't go out there doing something out of the norm. You're playing your position. You're doing your job. You're fitting the gaps. You're rushing in the right lanes. That's what I saw on the defensive line. The defensive line getting to the quarterback, they were all in their lanes. When you have your defensive end and your deep tackles rushing the quarterback and staying disciplined to where they're supposed to be, getting to the quarterback, someone's going to get there, okay? But stay in your lane, and they'll have nowhere to go. That's what it felt like today. We contained the edge. When a running quarterback like Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor, when they feel pressure, they want to get outside. They weren't able to do that today, right?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we were able to get after their quarterback so well, is because we played disciplined football. And then just like the New York, I don't know, man. It's like New York is still they're gonna find a win this year, maybe 2 wins. I don't know, but
I don't know.
But what it comes down to is, the expectations. They were desperate. That's the difference between the two backup quarterbacks. Tyrod comes in because Justin Fields gets benched. We've been there before, right? When you are playing with with unhealthy expectations as a quarterback, the pressure's there. Tyrod threw 2 picks because he was trying to do everything in his power to score rather than taking what was there. Okay?
Yeah.
Forcing throws. Bad look. That last pick that JC Horn had, he ran the route.
He did.
He ran the route for the
better
receiver.
than the wide receiver.
And I don't know why Tyrod threw it, because it was like paint on the wall. That paint, JC was the paint, the receiver was the wall.
I'm just watching the replay of it right now. Yeah, he's literally running the route for the receiver. He turns around, he's in perfect position for it, as if Tyrod threw it to him. It's crazy. Someone had mentioned in the comment section here, as we're live on I believe's YouTube channel, brought to you by FanDuel. Great job by the defense. 6 sacks all year, and we get that total in one day against the New York Jets. 6 sacks today for 33 yards lost. With a quick glance at the box score, Panthers outperformed the Jets in pretty much every category you could think of: total yards, yards per play, pretty much everything there. I do think that Bryce was going to get to 200 yards before the game was over with. He ended at 15 of 25 with 138 yards and a touchdown. But he was moving the offense around pretty much from drive number 1. Like, they didn't really have too much of an issue moving the ball around.
I will say the one thing that they got to fix is 3rd down conversions. Right.
Yeah. Because then they get these 4th downs, and it's like they're cool doing the 4th downs, but I'd rather you just
we were 5 for 17 on 3rd down.
Yeah,
and that's not good. So that was one category that the New York Jets definitely had us on, right?
Can't play down the competition going forward. A better team than the Jets beats us today, and it was because of that 3rd down thing you were talking about there.
And if it wasn't for JC Horn, Mike Jack showing up in the secondary, Merrig showing up on a sack and quarterback pressures. I mean, Evero had a really good game plan, and going against another defensive coordinator that we all know very well, Steve Wilkes, who also does a lot of the exotic matchups and showings as far as zero blitz and whatnot. We handled all of that really well, but we just couldn't extend the drives the way we have been extending them against the Dolphins, the Dallas Cowboys, the Atlanta Falcons, the teams that were clearly inferior to us while we played, right? This is a team that we go in and we say, okay, this team is winless. They are technically inferior to us, right? So, to your point, Desmond, let's not play to that level.
I feel like I'm having a fever dream or something. Did you see the stat that Atlanta has like the number 1 offense and like the number 2 defense or something in the league? How's that possible? Like, because I'm like, we saw that team, right? We watched, we played them. We won 30-0, didn't we? Like, that did not
but
look like
I'll say that
defense in the league.
I'll say yardage wise, we were playing at the half field mark.
I was gonna say we helped them, didn't we? Yeah, we helped them because we were starting our drives at like the half, like at the 50-yard line. So we were helping them out on the defensive side just by cutting the field in half. That's funny. So Atlanta and us, we're in second place in the NFC South in the middle of October.
Look at us.
Look at us. Look at us.
I told you. I didn't listen.
Look at us.
Listen. All I gotta say is we got 6 more games until we hit that number 10. And what did I say in the beginning of the season?
Now, here's where it gets tricky because now the schedule in theory starts to tighten up a little bit for us. Starting next week. But so what we said at the beginning of this episode, it's the National Football League. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. And none of these teams I'm looking at that we're coming up against, well, maybe the Rams, but it's not till like the end of November. None of them are really teams where I'm like, oh man, we don't know what to do with them, including next week's opponent, the Buffalo Bills, who they find themselves, they were the media darling. Everyone was writing them into the Super Bowl. And now I think they've lost 2 straight. And everyone's like, oh no, the Panthers aren't going to want to see the Bills. They've lost 2 straight. When will we want to see them? When they've won 2 straight? You know what I'm saying? I've never understood that logic. Like, oh, you don't want to see the Bills. They've lost 2 straight. They're going to be all mad and stuff. They were mad last week when they lost 1 game. They lost that too.
Listen,
that doesn't mean anything.
The mentality of a football player, we don't care what you did.
The
only thing we care about is what's on film. And how can we expose what has been exposed on film, right? Like, like I saw this clip with Nick Saban talking about the mentality of Usain Bolt, right? Usain Bolt shows up to a race and knows nothing about his opponent. He only knows how fast he's going to run that day. He knows the work that he puts in. He knows the culture, the mindset, the mentality in which he's going to perform that day. That's the mindset I feel like the Carolina Panthers are starting to form. Because again, we talk about finding your beat, finding your rhythm. You're able to do that at home. Like you get raised at home, Desmond. When you're born and you're a baby, your mama raises you at home. And then eventually you start having a personality. And then eventually you start having standards. And eventually you learn to stand for something or fall for anything, right? And then you go out into the real world. And the Carolina Panthers went to New Jersey and took what they've learned from home. And they stuck with it. That to me shows growth. That to me shows that whatever you thought the Carolina Panthers were week 1, week 2, last week, they are transforming in right in front of us. And so as expected, you're winning game. This was an ugly win. We have to be able to win ugly.
We've never really been able to do it the past 4 or 5 years. We've always lost these games. And like that's why I was like, I don't care if it's 13-6. We won the game. This is the NFL. We'll win by a point. I'll take a half point win.
I'll take a point. I'll take running. You know, we won a game with Steve Wilkes where we ran the ball. We passed the ball 3 times or something like that. That one game.
We ran it like 50 times or something like that in one game. And we were all like, yes.
And everybody was like, yeah.
This is what we want. Shout out to Steve Wilkes. That we need to mention that. Who was the defensive coordinator today for the New York Football Jets? Steve Wilkes. So like we're trying to figure out, well, why the hell could we move the ball and stuff? Because there was a man named Steve Wilkes on the other side of the field. We already know what he's about. We already know what this whole thing is. So like it was gonna be tough. The defense is fine with the Jets. The offense, they were missing
they got no luck.
Yeah. So we were supposed to win this game. So I'm glad that we're here and we're like, we're supposed to win it, and we did. If you're new to the Believe in Panthers program, you'll see that there's time me and Stu will call back things that we mentioned weeks ago. When they finally start happening, we will bring it back up again.
Yeah, we're gonna let y'all know.
We're gonna let y'all know. We're gonna let y'all know if we was right, because there's many times where we were wrong.
Listen, I'm gonna do another public service announcement. Hit the Believe sound.
Okay, I got you. Oh no, wait. I turned it off. Hold on. Do you believe?
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you believe? If you do, I'm giving you one last chance. One last chance. The door is open.
Oh no.
The door is open. The Carolina Panthers are 4-3, and the keep pounding sign is on. Okay? The keep pounding sign is on, and once it goes off, there's no getting back on this train. The doors are closing.
Yep.
Okay? So, if you believe in the Carolina Panthers and what they are about to achieve, they go into the playoffs. I don't care what y'all say.
I'm starting to feel like they are playoff caliber.
Ain't no starting this. Ain't starting to think nothing.
There's
you on my side. Ain't no starting to think. You already thinking it.
Well, I talked about this on my radio show earlier this week. Is there a great NFL team this year? I don't think there is. It's just there's a handful of good teams, and there's a handful of teams underneath that, and there's a handful of really bad teams. But there's no like.
If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win tomorrow,
oh Lord,
with all the injuries that they got going on,
yeah.
Baker Mayfield is the MVP.
I think he's the leader right now, just for what he's done already with all of them being out. Top 3 wide receivers have been out like the past couple of games, pretty much. And that's actually a good segue into the FanDuel bet of the not the bet of the week, but the bet of tonight. Tampa Bay and Detroit. That is tomorrow, Monday Night Football. I went to go see if there was any popular bets, and this one came across. I thought that was interesting between these two teams because they do both score. Each team to score 1 rushing touchdown and 1 passing touchdown in each half. And I just read that. I didn't realize it was each half. I thought it said first half. So it's basically saying if each team scores a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in the first half and the second half, it's paying out at plus 8,000. Meaning if you wager $10 and that happens, you win $800.
That's a good bet.
And you're talking about the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Bucks, 2 teams that like to get after it. Baker Mayfield versus Jared Goff. They both like to score. That could be something to look at.
I would say, yeah. Take that bet. You said each team scores a rushing touchdown
and a passing touchdown in each half. I think that could, that seems, if I was a betting man, that sounds like something I would put a bet on. Because
I know Detroit going to try to run that rock.
Mm-hmm. They have that 2-back system like we're talking about. Who's the running back in Tampa?
It all depends on if the Buccaneers are capable of moving the ball early.
Is Bucky Irvin back yet? Because he was hurt, wasn't he?
Nah, but Rachaad White is back there. He got 4 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, he good too. Okay, so the spread is Detroit's favored by 5.5. So go over to FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel.com, hit the Sportsbook tab, go to the NFL tab. Of course, scroll down, find that game. That's under the popular tab, right beside the same game parlay. We'll get you another one midweek when we come back with our preview episode versus the Buffalo Bills we got coming up on Sunday. The players of the game or units of the game.
Yeah.
For you, we kind of touched on a number of them. I didn't mention because we've been heavy defense for the Panthers this episode. I need to mention Xavier Legette. Xavier Legette had a great game. 9 catches, had a touchdown.
Career game.
Yeah, ever since he came back from injury from last week, he's stacked 2 really good weeks together back to back. And I've noticed the get rid of XL chants and the tweets and stuff have just kind of disappeared, like the Homer Simpson meme in the bushes. They just
don't worry, we got receipts.
Yeah, we got receipts. That's another thing.
Don't worry, Xavier. We got you.
We got a whole grocery bag of receipts sitting over here for tax time.
We ain't gonna let them people near you, dog.
So who you got for your player of the game or unit of the game? Because we got a lot of guys we could probably choose from here.
Listen, player of the game out the gate is J.C. Horn. Okay, go get it, Horn. That's his name.
I like that actually. Go get it.
Go get it, Horn. Without his 2 picks, who knows what this game actually becomes. It becomes a game where hopefully the Carolina Panthers pull one out. But because he was able to, come away with those crucial interceptions and moments in the game, red zone, defending the red zone, right? Getting guys, in the secondary, understanding that this is a no-fly zone. It reminds me of Thieves Ave. Back when I played, we had some extraordinary talent. You talk about Josh Norman. You talk about Roman Harper. You talk about Trey Boston. Peanut Tillman. Guys that declare the fact that you are not. We're taking the ball. And you're not getting any points. Okay. So that to me is what we're establishing on the secondary, led behind J.C. Horn. Mike Jack came to play. He had a lot of good plays there third down, fourth down, you name it. If the ball's in the air, my hand's there. Okay, so knocking, a lot of knockdowns, but then going to the defensive line, we have a landlord, ladies and gentlemen, and his name is Derek Brown.
That was gonna be my player of the game. It's Derek Brown.
Derek Brown ain't playing around. Okay, he's a landlord, and if you owe him money, you're gonna have to see him.
You're gonna get a quarterback hit.
The way he's playing, man, it's setting the standard for the young guys. You talk about Scorton, you talk about Princely. I'm chasing the quarterback. I'm not just letting him run out of bounds. I'm gonna hit him to let him know that if he tries this one more time, he's gonna get hit. Okay.
Yeah.
So the standard is being set. You talk about culture shift, it's because of guys like Derek Brown. He had 7 tackles. Okay, 7. Okay, he's getting back to his old ways. Okay,
yeah,
he's there. He gonna have another 100. If you keep this up, he gonna have another 100 tackle season.
He's the only defensive tackle in history to have 100 tackle season. That's crazy. Yeah. And now he's sacking the quarterbacks too.
Yeah, like, 2 sacks. He had 2 sacks.
Aaron Donald going on, don't we? Like, people scared to say it, but that's Aaron Donald. Like, is it not? Like, that's getting towards that territory where like you just can't do nothing with him. You can't do anything.
It was the best defensive player out there today. And he's causing a ruckus. He's causing the quarterback to make bad decisions because he ain't trying to get hit. And so 2 sacks, and then he got 3 pass deflections.
Okay? Yeah. I just
he's playing defensive back at the defensive line spot, dog.
This King Kong up on line swatting flies is the way. 3 quarterback hits today. Yeah. 4 of those tackles were solo out of the 7. I was going to give mine to the defensive line led by Derek Brown because besides him, 2 of the rookies, Nick Scorton, 2 sacks, a sack and a half today. Princely, Umana Mendelin. I said it real fast. I hope I said it right. Half a sack for him.
Princely.
Morin got in action. Number 3. We're just gonna call him Princely. He got shook up a little. He got shook up twice. Came back in the game and finished.
And shout out to that though. It goes back to the standard, Des. He gets banged up, but you want to know what? He finishes the game.
He wanted to finish the game. He got back in
mentality.
Hey, Sean Robinson had a sack and a tackle for loss. Like, I mean, everybody's just. They're all the defense is buying in, and you could, for me personally, watching NFL football, I've always felt like you can go much further as a team if your defense is bought in before the offense. The offense will be out here. Look at Dallas. Dallas can score 35 points on anybody, but the defense is not bought in. So people just running through the defense, and I haven't looked to see what the score is over there against Washington, but would not be surprised if Washington's leading that game at this point as they're going to the
Dallas is beating the brakes off of Washington.
Are they? I got to run the ball.
15.
Oh, okay. So you see what happens.
That's making us look good.
Yeah, that does make us look. That makes us look great. That's what I'm saying. Atlanta, we beat Atlanta 30-0. They're the number 1 offense and number 2 defense in the league. So
they do got CD Lamb back, leading the team right now in receiving.
We held Dallas to under 30 points, beat them. We go take care of business against the Jets. Next week, it's just another test. Like for me, it's another test for us versus the national media perception. Like, is Carolina a team we want to devote time to on a Tuesday to talk about on Get Up or First Take or whoever? Because lately, really since Cam Newton was here, they don't talk about Carolina unless there's something going on with the owner or a new coach or something bad. Like, they don't talk about us. But
they're talking about us now.
They're making them talk about them, like the way y'all used to do, where they didn't want to talk about y'all until y'all got to a point where they couldn't avoid talking about y'all, and then they had to talk about y'all. And at that point, it felt like they were late to the party. And I feel like that's what's starting to happen here. Going back to what I was saying earlier, we'll say some things on the show. We come back to them. Remember when I said a couple weeks ago how this team, it kind of set up like 2013 in my mind, like what happened to that team? For what happened to that team, you was on that team. Ron Rivera was in his 3rd year as a coach. He was on a hot seat coming in because they'd had 2 losing seasons after drafting Cam Newton overall number 1. They started off the season, I think 1-3, if I'm not mistaken. I think y'all had a bye or something happened. Or you may not even had a bye. You just came in the next game and you routed off like an 8-game win streak, 9-game win streak. Ended up finishing 2nd, I believe, behind. No, we won the NFC South, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think we won the NFC South at 12-4. We had to go to Seattle and play them in the playoffs, and we lost. Seattle went to the Super Bowl. But that set up a 3-year run for Carolina where after that, they won 3 straight division titles, made it to the Super Bowl and everything else. And I was like, the way this is setting up, it's setting up the same way because the defense started to gel first, and then the offense kind of found its way. And once the offense figured out what y'all wanted to do, what you wanted to be known for, y'all started running the ball like hard, like all over people. And once y'all started doing that, you started doing design runs for Cam. You would have like you and D'Angelo back there in the backfield at the same time. That was the team that had like the 2 tight end sets. I think Shockley was still here in 2013. He might have been gone by 13.
I think he was gone.
Yeah, but Olsen that took over that tight end spot. Steve Smith was still here. Yeah, Steve Smith was still here in 2013. So like they had pieces.
That was when we lost to the 49ers in playoffs.
That's what it was, 49ers. You saw, yeah, that's right. You saw the 49ers and you lost them in the playoffs. And I think the 49ers went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In 2013. Yeah. So I'm not saying we're going to do that, but I'm saying it just shapes up that way because there was a part of that schedule in 2013 where people were like, oh, well, they're going to start losing here. And you just kept applying, copy and paste, the same thing we were doing. And teams were like, oh, dang, we got beat by the Panthers. You know, like that kind of thing. So next thing you know, the Panthers are 9-3 and are on Monday Night Football or something flexed in. They weren't supposed to be. And the whole country's like, what's going on with the Panthers? We're warning y'all now. It's October the 19th, 2025. We're 4-3. You better hop on this train because
keep pounding the sign is on.
Okay? Keep pounding the sign is on. It's hot and ready.
It's hot and ready. Okay,
hot and ready. We're ready to go.
Ready. Krispy Kremes, holla at us.
But yeah, I'll go get the floor on mine.
Shout out to Ocho Cinco and the nightcap.
Okay? He's been holding us down.
He's been holding us down. So shout out to you, big dog. Because you see it. And football players, football knowledge, you see the potential. And if you are on the wrong side of that and you speaking on bad terms, you're gonna miss out on all the fun.
Yep.
Right? You're gonna miss out on all the fun. And shout out to Coach Mangini as well. Oh, shout out to Ben Wardall for understanding that too.
In the comment section there, yeah.
In the comment section.
Dan Orlovsky's been on us too the past couple of weeks on NFL Live. He's like, man, look at this play design. Look how Bryce is moving. Like the Panthers are really good. Yeah. And your boy from NFL Network that's always been kind of on our side. I can't remember his name, but he always talks very highly of the Panthers, and he's been on cloud nine too with how the Panthers have been playing and performing. So we're just excited. We deserve to be. We haven't been here in like I think 2019. It was 2019 was the last time we were like this at this point of the season, and I believe it's the first time we've been over 500 since we went 3-0 to start the 2021 season when Sam Darnold was the starting quarterback, which was a lot. It feels like a lifetime ago. So we ran a little bit over, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, but. We'll be back midweek. We got a big one to preview. Panthers taking on the Buffalo Bills. Is that home? Is that a home game?
Or yes, sir.
We at the bank. So we're undefeated at the bank. So there you go there. We'll get an update hopefully by midweek on Bryce Young. Someone had asked in the comments if he can't go, does that mean Hendon Hooker will get pulled up from the practice squad? Probably, because you can't go on with one quarterback. Hendon Hooker, if you're from the North Carolina area, you know him. He played at Dudley High School, played at Tennessee. Was a Heisman candidate actually until he got hurt right at the end of his senior year there. Tennessee was undefeated. So he's on the team. He's on the practice squad. They could pull him up depending on what's going on with Bryce. I think Bryce is going to play. I can't sit here from my living room and know that for sure. But unless he got cut or something, I would imagine by the time we get to next Sunday, he might be limited early in practice. But we'll know by the time we get on the air again, Wednesday or Thursday, what the situation is with him. If Andy's getting all the first string snaps Tuesday or whatever, then we might have to have something to talk about. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Everybody enjoy your Sunday evening. It's another Panther victory Monday week to go into work tomorrow with Panthers 13-6 winners over the New York Football Jets. We will see y'all midweek with a new episode previewing Panthers versus Bills. For Jonathan Stewart, I'm Desmond Johnson. You've been watching and listening to the Believe in Panthers podcast here on Believe Podcast Networks, presented by FanDuel. Keep pounding.